we go. So I don't accidentally forget to hit that button. I think that happened to me once.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, it just clicked into 2 o'clock. So I suppose we can kick it off.
Let's kick off.
So
Yeah.
welcome everyone who is here and everyone who's about to join. I'm Heather McManus from the Designers Collaborative, and I am joined by Melissa Clark from MC Virtual Assistants. And we're going to talk today about all of the things that a virtual assistant can do for you. Things maybe that you didn't think of ways that you can get more help and get more done in your day. And as we are approaching the holidays at the end of this year and time is like flying by, I'm sure we're all like, wow, more help would be nice, because I don't know where the time goes. So it really does seem like I get a lot accomplished every single day. And yet the to-do list just grows and grows and grows. So, you know, it's that uphill battle that we all fight. So, and we do so much as designers.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's a complicated industry with so many different things that we do, so much knowledge that we have to have. So what can we actually get help with? That's the conversation that we're going to have. And Melissa does have some things prepared for us that maybe we didn't think of, or maybe we're like, oh yeah, that's something we could do. So Melissa, I guess you want to share the bullet points that you found?
Yeah, I can just sort of kick off, and we can, you know, have an open discussion, any questions as we go.
Yes, of course, questions. We'll try for questions at the end, but if there's something that pops up, like put it in there, and we remember what it is, and we'll get to it towards the end.
As you said, Heather, you know, there's so many things that designers do, and I would say, you know, 95% of the designers that we talk to probably spend, you know, 30% of their time designing, and the rest of the time doing everything but designing. And you know, it's finding that balance and helping designers get back to doing what they love, what they want to be doing, what they should be doing, which is actually designing. You know, so it's all of the varied range of support on the back end, you know, running a business, you know, the admin, the procurement, the marketing. There's different facets of an interior design business. You know, we've discussed before about delegating, which areas is best to delegate. That again comes down to a personal preference, what you like doing. You know, some designers are like, well, I really enjoy the marketing side of it, so I want to keep hold of that. But you know, I actually hate creating spreadsheets, so I'd love to delegate that. And it's always good to pinpoint an area to delegate to start. You know, I'm just going to talk a bit about everything that you could delegate. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to do all of this at once. You know, it's always good to start somewhere and grow. You know, that's our intention as well. You have a good VA match. You know, the more you grow with that VA, the more they're able to take on for you. But, you know, starting in the sort of admin realm, you know, the admin realm, you know, calendar management, scheduling discovery calls for new clients, scheduling subcontractor meetings. You know, your VA can have access to your calendar, whichever that be, Google, Outlook. You know, we recommend getting your VA set up with a company email. So it might be that you already have an info at email, or an admin at email, or an office at email, or something like that, keeping it generic. But that then means that they're able to communicate, you know, with new client inquiries that come through the website. Reach out to them, you know, let's get you scheduled for a call. They have access to your calendar. You know, the same then with inbox management. You know, if you're on vacation or you're out on site, you know, I've currently got a client this week. She's for the whole week she's doing a Christmas install at this client's house. It's a huge house. Every year
project.
They get decked out in tinsel every year for the week, and she's out. She's in, you know, Christmas land. But you know, I'm looking in her inbox, I'm monitoring it, making sure that there's nothing in there that she's missing, that's important, that she needs to be aware of. You know, somebody to be that second pair of eyes if you're out of the office, on vacation or whatever. You know, inbox management is another one. You know, coming back to new clients, they send inquiries through the website. We have some VAs who purely handle that front end section of the business. So they will respond to any new inquiries, whether that's through the website, whether that's through House or wherever they come in. sending out, template emails or questionnaires. Some of our VAs have actually handled those discovery calls. So, they have a set kind of questionnaire run through. They will call the client. They will do like a prelim screen. Is this an actual real lead? Do they actually have $100,000 to spend on a kitchen?
Right.
Or
Because we waste a good amount of time with the tire kickers, or the people just don't know. They just don't know enough.
They just don't know. So, you might have a minimum, budget. The timing might not be right. They might want somebody to start next week and you're booking projects for February. So, it's not a fit from the word go. So it's having that sort of prelim screen. And then if it seems good, then at that point, the VA can then move forward to schedule either an on-site consultation with them, sending through the invoice if you charge for those consults, and basically setting that up. So, all of that front end, sending out LOAs, helping drafting, putting LOAs together based on scope of works and fees. And, if you have a template, it's like, okay, this is the scope, this is what I'm going to charge, put the LOA together for me, let me, review it. Send it out via DocuSign or Adobe or whatever you may or may not use as your sort of email signature software, follow up with the invoice. So all of that kind of client front end onboarding, they can get involved in as much or little capacity as you like. On the client side, sending out weekly client project updates. I think, every designer I talk to is like, yes, should be doing that. Yes, should be doing that. Yeah. But we're not. So, it's like, well, if we have those weekly calls, we can draft something and then they can be in charge of sending those client project updates out, whether that's via email or via a project management system that you're using. So that's something they can support with. Client testimonials. Getting client testimonials, it's come to the end of a project. Let's reach out. Let's get that testimonial. Let's make sure that they get it on house so that we can be eligible for the best of house badge come the end of the year, because you need a minimum of 3 testimonials through the year.
Right.
Getting the testimonial, and while they're at it, let's get it updated on the website. Let's add it to the website. All your marketing literature. There's a lot, client gifts. Holiday, it's holiday time. Now here we are, it's Thanksgiving next week, it's Christmas at the end of the year. I have some designers who every year like, yeah, let's send holiday cards out, let's send Christmas cards out, holiday cards out. Some are like, no, I don't want to do holiday. I have a designer who does Valentine's Day, and we send like a Valentine branded chocolates. Different. We do like branded logo chocolates and things around Valentine's Day, which is cute, different.
It's a way to stand out.
Lost in the noise of all the holiday stuff. So that's something. But that takes management and quotes, and we need your logo to put on the box or whatever it is. So coordinating client gifts, holiday gifts, welcome boxes, those sort of things. This is all sort of falling under the admin realm, I guess. Sort of verging on marketing as well. Those photo shoot, coordinating photo shoots. With the photographer, the client, are you available? Let's get it done this day. Access to your calendar. Paying the photographer. Let's getting those coordinated. Processing SPIFs, vendor rebates. If a vendor, if you've Sub-Zero or Wolf, or you've bought an appliance and you're due a rebate, sometimes you have to provide proof of the receipt, proof of the purchase to be eligible for credit. Compiling vendor and client directory lists. So some designers are good and they have their vendor sheets and they have them, their vendor list in Ivy or House or Studio Designer, wherever it might be. They have master spreadsheets. Some are like, well, they're in my email somewhere. I know I opened an account last month with them, with Cravat, and the username and the login should be in my inbox somewhere.
Oh.
So, help getting that centralized. Okay, let's create
make the document that organizes it.
A master vendor spreadsheet, and the same on the client end. If you're not using any sort of client CRM system, then as new inquiries are coming through, help with keeping a client directory. Which, when it comes time to then doing the client gifts or the email marketing, or, you've got the information in a centralized place. That takes time to find and gather and pull together. But it's a good, if you don't have it, it's something pretty key to have as a master referral source. Client budgets, selection sheets, specification sheets. When you're ordering lighting, say, while you're online on that link to that Hudson Valley sconce, let's download the spec sheet there and then. Let's save it to the project folder, because at the end of the project, it would be nice to send through a spec book or create a spec book, and we don't then have to go back and find all of the specifications.
Right.
Or if we do, which is normally what happens, that's something that the VA can do. Here's all the products that we specified, go and download me all of the vendor manufacturer specifications. So we can put it into the client spec book. Help with
I would imagine warranties and things like that.
Yeah, exactly. Warranty, guarantee. Depends how much information you want to give, even like instruction manuals, but support with compiling that maintenance sort of guide as well. At the end of the project, every designer is different in what they give and how they give it, but you're specifying furniture, what's the care maintenance for that rug, is it, and what's the care maintenance for this fabric, is it, can you wash it, can you have it treated with fiber sealed treatment, is it, machine washable, is it how do we care for that wood? So pulling all of these sort of things together as a material maintenance guide is always a useful one. So admin sort of moved into general project management. So that is sort of coordinating subs, materials. We've ordered wallpaper. We've got a wallpaper installer. Or can you find me a wallpaper installer? Can you get me a quote from the wallpaper installer? Let's schedule a time for them to be on site. Can the client be available? The wallpaper's been delivered to the client. Let's get that wallpaper install scheduled. So project management, coordinating, making things sort of happen
right
behind the scenes, which there's people involved, and you're sort of waiting on people, and often these subs, a lot of them, texting is about the only way to get hold of them. You call them, their voice boxes are full. You email them, you get crickets.
Yeah.
These independent electricians,
right, they don't have receptionists.
No handymen,
yeah, none of that.
But they take some following up, they take some chasing, because
they do.
It's like, are you going to be there at 9 o'clock on Thursday? Because
please confirm.
We've got the furniture being delivered and we need you there to hang the shelf, and sometimes these people take some chasing down, so help with coordinating that, for sure. Fun job. Procurement, yes, the biggie, my favorite.
That beast.
Yeah. Everything from sort of A to D, and that is obviously TDC, help with getting pricing in the first place, for products, help with getting those into a proposal with whatever software you're using, Madoma, Studio, Ivy, Design File, Design Manager, and DMA, there's a lot. RVAs have experience, across most platforms. Some use some use others. So we try to match you with a VA who had experience using the platform you're using. Getting those into a proposal, getting that out to the client, getting payment from the client, sending the invoice out, Once payment has been received, raising the purchase orders, getting the purchase orders sent to the TDC account holder or vendors or whoever it might be, getting the order confirmations in, reconciling the POs if the shipping's different to what was quoted at the front end, getting ship dates where possible, then getting tracking, sending tracking to either the client if it's being delivered to their house, you know, please open it, make sure it's not damaged, because we don't want to come to it in 2 months' time when we're ready to install it and find that it's broken and it's too late to return it. Sort of thing.
All the fun.
All the fun, yes. Tracking going to a receiving warehouse, you know, giving a list of the receivers is always nice to do.
Yes.
Doesn't happen.
Especially in our system.
Yeah.
Our system, it may not show up as your company. So
yeah, exactly. It's side marked wrong, or, well, you know, not relevant. So it's always nice to have that list sent in to the receiver of this is what you should be getting. You know when it ships, so then hopefully they can be matching it up on their end, depends how good or not a receiver you have. Making sure obviously what comes in, damage claims, freight claim, shipping claims, dealing with all of those sort of fun things. Handling returns, things that come in, it's like, actually, know what, I've changed my mind. So the client doesn't now want that one because, for whatever reason, they've changed their mind. So it's okay, let's get this returned. Is there a restocking fee? Let's, let's get the invoice, because we now have to, go back and update the proposal and make sure that credit's reflected, and make sure we receive the credit. Like, do we have somewhere an internal credit sheet? Because this happens, like things being returned, things being damaged, like, oh yeah, Universal are getting us a credit for that. Have we received the credit? Do we?
And they drag their feet on those things, so it's easy for it to like fall to the back of your mind, and then months later you're like, wait a minute, I think I'm owed $200. And
exactly. And it's $200, but it's $200. So those $200 add up. Every little one, every different situation. So it's remembering that yes, we had that credit, or a vendor might say, oh, we'll keep it on file for you.
Right.
And it's like, okay, well, let's remember that next time we place the order that we've got that $100 credit, because they might not be telling you.
No, they don't. They rely on you to tell them. That's the game.
They're not going to say,
no.
Oh, we've got a credit on file for you.
Let me apply that for you. No, that doesn't happen.
Opening new trade accounts. Whether that be online or through reps, or sending in resale certificates, completing paperwork, that can be time
back and forth. Absolutely.
But if someone's got the information, they've got your tax exemption ID number, they have what they need, they can fill it in and send it back. Credit card authorization forms, things like that, to be completing those. Help with coordinating on the procurement side with coordinating installs. Okay, so we've got the receiver, then furniture is going to be delivered at 9, we've got the carpet guys going in at 10, we've got the handyman going in at 11, we've got the electrician going in at 12. Are we needing to be fiber ceiling, stain treating anything? Does that need to be done at the warehouse before it gets installed? There's a lot of coordination that goes on install day.
Right. And a lot of coordination right before we're selling it too. There's a lull time, but there's like the part where you're starting to sell it. So now we need samples, and we need pricing, and we need lead time, all of those things. And then on install day, it's also a lot of that little stuff that adds up to quite a lot of back and forth and wasted of time.
There's that sort of lull once everything's ordered, and we're kind of tracking it through and letting it come in, and and especially lately, gone are the days of one install. I actually think last week I did
3 is about average, is what I'm finding.
I think last week we had our first with one of my key designers, we had our first full install in like 2 years.
Wow.
and it just hasn't been happening. You know, the ones that are the ones that have been pushed back due to construction delays. So it's not, you know,
Right.
so it's not actually, you know, on our end, it's the fact that they've not been ready to take delivery of the furniture. But it's been, yeah, three installs. You know, nothing now has been delivered in one go. So that takes time. You know, we're waiting for those dining room chairs, we're just waiting for that area rug, and, you know, have that come in, and is it something the client wants to go and pick up direct from the receiver rather than pay to have the receiver deliver it, store it. So all of those sort of fun coordination things, workrooms, window treatments, custom sort of upholsterers, pillows. We've ordered some COM fabric to get to a workroom, making sure that they have what they need, that, you know, the work order's correct, they've received the fabric. Again, you know, lead time, when can we be, because most of these workrooms are booking out. So, you know, the second they receive the fabric, it's like, right, let's book the install with you, because that's going to be 6 weeks out.
Oh, longer than that.
Yeah.
6 weeks is a good lead time for that.
Yeah, let's not wait until you tell me it's ready to book the install, because then we're going to be another 6, you know, month until you can deliver it. Sort of coordinating, you know, that's project management again, coming down to that. So yeah, you know, a lot on the procurement side. Yeah, it's kind of you know, mostly where we take on a lot of that process for designers, and varying stages. You know, some designers still like to have that kind of front end handle, that, you know, they're still involved with the quoting and even placing the orders, and then it's passed over to a VA to be like, okay, we'll track it when it gets to the receiving warehouse.
Right.
So, you know,
I would imagine a lot of designers might not feel comfortable with like the paying of the invoices. So, you know, to not have a VA connected to your QuickBooks, but to have them in all the other softwares, and then just a little note of like, pay this one, and then click it in, and
I get asked that, and again, it all comes down to sort of personal preference. You know, I had a designer ask me last week, she said, you know, my bookkeeper kind of said to me about somebody being in the office being better than sort of virtual, and I said, you know, how can you trust that person in the office more than you can trust somebody virtually? That person in the office still has your credit card, they can still go and shop on Amazon if they want to. Like, it's not, you know, just because someone's virtual doesn't mean that the sort of trust element is any less.
I have known many people to look me in the eye and lie, so that in person isn't necessarily
and that's something that, you know, all of our VAs vetted, and, you know, they have experience, and I think that's something that again comes with time.
You're going to feel more comfortable, right?
Yeah, exactly. Everybody has different comfort levels. You know, we certainly say anything that's like large orders, so, you know, it might be a $10,000 sectional, leather sectional. You know, you've got the vendor estimate, you've got the acknowledgement. You know, we always say the designer will have the final approval, like they will say, yes, that is approved to order. You know, and then the VA literally then from that point handles the confirmation, right? You know, key in the credit card information, they, you know, chase the vendor for the acknowledgement, make sure it is ordered. Okay, yes, it's ordered. Right, when is it shipping? Right. So, you know, they're not just going to go and sort of willy-nilly.
Yes. So let's just say, pause for 1 sec and say, this is the list of things they can do for you. Then there's the setup of a process that will work for everyone, so that things are getting done in a timely manner based on the software that you use, or, you know, how you are feeling comfortable with how things are getting done. And it's probably like, I know for Tracy and I, with having Amanda's help, it's sometimes a process where, you know, because it's a partner situation, you know, she has her ideas and I have my ideas, and so it's like we can't be contradicting each other. Like, we need to have, let's both get on the same page and then send it off to do. So
it forces you to, as you say, have if you don't already have them, have some sort of internal processes, procedures in place, because it's only then when you have to start delegating and having, as you say, Heather, then you're like, okay, actually, how do I want this to be done? How how do I actually
Yeah.
do this?
Yep. You figure it out as you go sometimes.
Yeah.
Or figure it out better.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. 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 So, we've covered admin, we've covered procurement, project management, marketing is another kind of sub element. Again, a lot of designers have marketing agencies that they work with. They will have social media, agencies that they work with. But the support, depending on the VA and depending on what they, are looking for, award entries is always a good one.
Oh yeah, those are time consuming.
And KBA time of year, and
Right.
there's a lot to
Mhm.
coordinate and pull together and get client release forms, photographer release forms. Let's get the photo from the photographer because they have to be resized to a certain size. Actually uploading everything. We need the design statements, we need floor plans, we need help sometimes coordinating that is a good one. Updating websites, your NKBA profiles, house profiles. You might have had some new headshots done that you need to get updated on those profiles. New project photography, get it on your website, those sort of things. We're not web developers, but most of you will have your website already done on a platform like Wix or Squarespace or something like that a VA can easily just go in and upload some new project photography. Or you may have changed your office phone number. They can go in and change it on the website. Blog writing, newsletters, coordinating with magazine adverts. We've agreed to have a full page ad and half page editorial in Lux. Okay, well, Lux need the logo and Lux need the project photos, and they need it sending as a Dropbox links, and then they need it tomorrow. And so, coordination there, help with getting, adverts, press pitches, things like that. We spoke about client holiday gifts, cards, internal promotional items, pens, notebooks, bags. You might want to do some swag, help getting quotes, resources, designs drafted. Then sometimes having somebody there pushing it actually makes it happen, because these are all the things I feel that are always on the nice list. Like, oh god, yeah, I'd really love
someday
to
we will have time to do.
Yeah, I'd love to have some swag, like a client welcome box that's got a pen in it and a mug, whatever, but it's just never happens because it's just not on the to-do list. But if you've got somebody sort of saying, right, in your inbox, here's the quote, take a look. Okay, yeah, that looks good. Okay, that's a bit more than I thought. Well, let's just go with a pen, okay. They'll then come back. Here's the design. Is it approved? When somebody's kind of actually nudging you, it will happen, and it will get done.
Or even just like narrow the 400 different pens that exist in the world down to like the 3 that we can afford and that are good,
exactly. I want a black pen with my logo and I don't want to spend any more than $500. So they can then know that, get the option, and exactly as you say, come back with, well, this is what they've done, does it look good? Yeah.
And I know from what we've done, we have documents that are okay. It's just like an Excel and it looks like a meh. It has the words that you need, yes, but it wasn't pretty. And so Amanda took it into, I think it was Canva that she loves to use. And so suddenly it's like, oh, wow, just like a green line and a slightly different font and spaced out differently. And it looks like this amazing document. Whereas before I'm like, wow, it was ugly. I didn't realize it was ugly. Now I realize all of our things are ugly and I want to make them pretty. So that's my new goal, make it all pretty.
Make it pretty. Canva's great. Love Canva. Yeah.
And there's just something simple about like the spacing and the font and the like one green line, and suddenly it's like, wow, that's
more than just a Google spreadsheet. Yeah. It's there's a lot that can be done.
Right. And I'm never going to take the time to do that. Like, the words are there. The words that you needed are there. here is
Yeah.
the document. No, it's not pretty. But if I have someone who could make it pretty, then yeah, let's make it pretty too. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of niceties along with a lot more of your time back and a lot less like I have to do it all because we already do so much.
Mhm.
So it creates like that peace of mind and breathing space where you could suddenly then have a new idea
Yeah.
pop into your brain and
Yes.
not feel like I need to stuff that down because there is no way I'm taking on more. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah,
That's
or
yeah.
delegate that idea and say, you know what, I'd love to do this.
Yeah.
Like next Thanksgiving, you know, in Valentine's Day, I want to send out client gifts.
Yeah, because that's a cool idea, right? Because everyone
And
does Christmas or holidays or whatever, but no one's doing like, I love my client. Like I could see that being a really nice, and then they'd be like, oh my gosh.
so yeah, making ideas happen.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So
The
there's always a
space in
kind
your head for the idea to pop in there in the first
Mhm.
place, and then actually being able to get it done.
yeah. And often, you know, a VA will come in and kind of catch up on all this needs to happen. The
Mhm.
backlog, let's get the templates, let's get the vendor list together, let's get things in order, let's get you caught up. And
Yeah.
then it's like, okay, well, yeah, you know what? I'd love to send a newsletter out every month. Great. You know, do the award entries or spec sheets. You know, the more the more they're with you again,
Yeah, the more they're going to
I
see what
think
you need.
to delegate. And again, it's where your sort of personal area of preference is really.
Mhm.
But yeah, there's a lot, you know, there's a lot when you sort of get into the day to day.
Yeah, absolutely. No, there was tons of things that you mentioned that I'd never thought of. And I'm like, oh yeah, that is so annoying when you know, like it almost prevents you from doing it. Like the awards, filling that form out, having all the things ready. Like that's a whole, like I gotta take half a day and like sit there and concentrate on it. But if someone were
Even
to
just
get
a
it done,
page of just like the login and the entry, you know, it's like, just tell me what you need from me. Like, you know, not reading through it all, like just tell me what you need. Okay, so I need the floor plans. I need a description that has to be 150 words.
Yeah.
Here's a
Right.
Word document that I've drafted. I need, you know, for you to choose 6 photos.
Yeah.
You know, you can put them in this folder here. And I need 2 headshots. Use this one.
Right.
And it's that then faced with a whole page of, you know, where do I start? Yeah.
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 Yeah. All right. So do you have any others that you wanted to share, or should we open it up for
Kind
questions?
of key one, you know, the key areas. I mean, there is more.
Yeah. All right. Okay, sure.
And I was like, right, what do I do every day?
Yeah. You do
Yeah.
have to think about it. What do I do every day? I do a lot. I know I do a lot. What is it? Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot. And even you know, we've even done some personal things for designers. It's like, you know, I'm looking for a restaurant for a friend's 40th. Then she can like Google that for me. Or, you know,
Right. No, that's helpful though. Like it's my husband's birthday and I need to do something. Can you take care of that? Somebody take care of this. Yes.
Yeah. So we have sort of crossed over into the personal realms as well, which is always fun. Yeah. You know, events. I actually had a design just come to mind. I had a designer had a 10-year anniversary party of her business.
Cool. Yeah.
And I helped her to coordinate that, you know, caterers, florists, photographer, and got in touch with the venue and, you know, what do you need? And, you know, got catering quotes and stuff like that. So,
yeah. There's a lot of moving pieces to something like that.
Yeah.
And you're only going to do it once in a while, so you don't have it all dialed in already.
Yeah.
Okay. Shall we ask for questions?
Yeah, if we have any questions.
Okay. I don't see anything in either chat or Q&A, but at the bottom of your screen, if you're on a laptop or a computer, you've got Q&A or a chat box. Either of those will work. I will check out if you have any questions of what about this? Okay, I see one. All right. So it says, what is the cost per hour for a VA? Awesome question.
Good question. So our packages vary. We start at a minimum of 10 hours a month, because anything less than that, you know, do you really need the help? Are you really serious about getting tangible help? And then we go right up to sort of 60 plus hours a month. So anything from 10 hours to 20 hours is 59 an hour. And then anything 20 and above, it drops to 55 an hour. So the more you do, the rate comes down.
Mm-hmm.
And then our plans are flexible. You know, we can upgrade, downgrade as you go. There is a 2-month minimum commitment, but we can share the details afterwards.
And because designers are terrible at math, 10 hours at your hourly rate works out to, is it $550 a month?
$590 a month. Yeah.
$550 a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can all afford that. All right, so somebody said, sorry, I missed this. Don't worry, it's recorded and I'm going to send you everything so you can watch from the beginning. So don't worry about that. Okay, same question about the cost. Got that. Are there certain hours available? Like, is your VA available certain hours?
That is something that we discuss up front on a discovery call. You know, if you say to me, I need somebody that's available every day at 10 o'clock in the morning to check my inbox, then we will obviously make sure that the VA can accommodate that. Our VAs are all in the US, so it's sort of East Coast to West Coast time zones. And depending on how many hours a month it is, if it's 10 hours, 20 hours a month, you know, then they will do those at any time during the working day, you know, evenings. It depends really on what your requirements are. But if you do have specific requirements, then we obviously make sure that they have that available for you.
And also good to note while we're talking about this is that you might start off saying, I'm only going to need 10 hours. I'm sure that's going to help me out a ton. And then like us discover we want more. So now I want 15. Can she do 15? You know, and, you know, since they're VAs, they're doing multiple work for multiple people. So you just want to make sure that there's room to grow for when you're ready and willing to do a chunk of more hours, because now it's like, oh, that's so nice. Now I want more. And can you,
if that's where you're at and that's your sort of, you know, purpose and you know, intention, for sure.
Right.
You know, some designers are like, no, I just want somebody for 10 hours a month to handle my new client inquiries, you know, and that's fine.
Okay, new question is where do you find your VAs?
Where do I find my VAs? That's a good question. Referrals. You know, it's a small industry. It's it's a niche industry, should I say? So it's a small industry. Referrals. I have you know, a lot of job postings out. We have a recruitment manager on the team who works and does networking as well. You know, we're members of several you know, virtual assistant groups, LinkedIn, you know, Indeed, but there's a lot of vetting that goes on as well. Because, you know, virtual work it's definitely becoming the new norm. It's, you know, more normal than it was 3 years ago. And there's certainly more and more people looking to want to be doing virtual work. I think COVID kind of proved and sort of, you know, forced a lot of people down that road. Now people are, you know, like, we've got to go back to the office, and we don't want to go back to the office. Like, you know, we're used to this. We want to, you know, save half an hour commuting every morning and, you know, be able to be at home. And, you know, a lot of our VAs are, you know, they're part-time, they have children at home, you know, they work around their schedules, and you know, that's what we encourage. They're able to go and pick the kids up from school and take them to soccer, but you know, be available to work around their schedule and around what works for them. So you know, every VA does varying hours. Some do like 20 hours a month for us, others do 120 hours a month for us. It just depends on what their personal circumstances are.
Right. And actually, I think you have somebody wanting to apply here. Angie's saying, how can I start networking to become a VA, especially if I don't know many designers in your area? So I don't, you know, maybe we should give your,
I would say,
connect with you information now. It will probably be good.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to put that in the chat so everyone can copy and paste your
Yeah.
email?
You want to just pop your email in there, Angie, and I can reach out to you separately.
Yeah, or if people want to get in touch with
I
you,
can put
because
my
now
email
Megan
in there,
says,
yeah.
I would like to set up a discovery call.
Okay, let's pop that in there. So I think this should be able to show.
Yeah. Okay, so that's Melissa's email, everybody in the chat box. So you can reach out for what you're looking for. Chelsea asks, are there hour flexibilities and behind the scenes, AKA 10 hours of their own choosing? Or do you have specific blocks of time that they are allocating to you?
It's of their own choosing, or, you know, again, of your own choosing. Like, you know, if you choose to have a weekly call every Friday, then you know for that time every Friday you will be connecting with them. It might be, you know, 10 hours sometimes can be more for the project base. So it might be that you know that you're doing a load of purchasing for a project, and you know that, like, right, okay, this week I need you because we're going to be really busy, you know. So they're able to kind of manage that with some notice, that they may do 6 hours one week for you if that's what you need to get those orders processed. Again, it's all about communication, what you need when you need it. You know, with 10 hours, it might be the more project-based stuff. It might be, okay, well, this month we'd like to get, you know, the vendor spreadsheet done. They might spend, you know, 2 hours one day doing it for you, and then nothing for the rest of the week. So it really depends on your requirements, you know, and the VA will work around that with you.
Okay. Somebody said that they can't see chat, and I don't know why. You know what? It's because, let me just do this real quick to everyone. Let's see if this works. Sometimes if you have it set just to have 2 people see it, now that should be everyone. Can everyone see?
I see. It says everyone.
See the chat box on my mobile. Okay. Good deal. Okay. Yes, important everyone knows how to get in touch. And of course, there's mcvirtualassistance.com, the website where you can see
the website. Yeah.
the services and get in contact. And you have like a little questionnaire on there.
Yeah, so there's a basic contact form on there. There is a link on there to schedule a discovery call directly, if you wish as well. Once you sort of reach out and I'll get back in touch with you, I do then have an internal kind of new client questionnaire, which just asks for a little bit more information from you, just about what your current team structure is, what softwares you currently use, you know, roughly what number of hours you're looking for, that sort of thing, just so I've got some information going into our discovery call.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Looks like one just popped up. Let's see. Okay. So yeah, they see chat now. That's good. Yeah. I always have to look for that technology.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Okay. Last call for questions. Okay, so if you did not see this from the beginning, no worries. We've recorded it, and I am going to email everyone as soon as it's downloaded and I'm able to do so. So you can look for that probably the latest tomorrow. If I don't get to it tonight, I will have it ready for everybody email-wise by tomorrow. And it'll come from the admin at the Designers Collaborative. So look for that in your mailbox. Make sure it doesn't wind up in a spam folder or something. Okay, that's everything as far as I can say, right? Do you have anything you want to add? Just
thank you for having me as well. Always a pleasure. Just to note, anybody is interested in sort of booking a discovery call, we do have a process. You know, we always say if you're thinking about hiring help, it's always a good time to reach out. You know, you can never do it too soon. You know, I won't be able to turn around and give you a VA tomorrow. There is a process that we go through. We are currently booking for sort of onboarding at the end of the year, well, even January, early January. So, you know, reach out now. We'll have our discovery call. You know, there's a process we go through with the match. You're able to talk to the VA before you commit.
Good point.
We have an onboarding call, so you know it's now is the time to be thinking about the new year, and you know getting the help that you need for 2023. So yeah.
Yes, excellent point. It's probably a lot like when our clients call us, they've been thinking about it in the back of their mind for so long. And when they finally do make that phone call, they're like, can't you come tomorrow? So no, we have a schedule. So same thing with Melissa. She's got a process to get you through, to get you the right person. You talk to that person beforehand, and then you start working together at certain times, and things start moving. So yeah, give yourself a little space to make sure that happens, and it won't happen overnight. But it will happen if you make steps to make it happen. Start those steps.
Yes, I actually have a client that we're just working with now who watched the last webinar.
Okay.
And it may even have been the one before that, but she actually reached out to me on email.
Yeah.
A few weeks ago and was like, okay, now's the time. I watched you. I meant to reach out then and I didn't, but I'm here. You know, we all have to get to that point, which I totally respect as well. So, you know,
and it's usually when we're up to here.
Yeah.
When we're here, we're like, that's it. try to call about here.
Yeah.
So you don't get there.
Like, let's sort of get it around here. Yes.
Yeah. A human condition, probably. Yeah. All right, gang. It was great. This was a great talk. Thank you for all the ideas of everything we can use and a virtual assistant for. There's I'm sure 100 more things, because everybody's got different stuff that will come up day to day.
Exactly. Things. Yeah.
All right. Well, good chatting. Everyone have a fantastic day, and I will be sending you the recording.
Thank you, Heather.
Bye-bye.
Bye.